Alright, what you see here is a Hampton Bay Windward 2 ceiling fan. I just got this recently off of Facebook Marketplace for $20, which I think is a steal for one of these. It is a 54-inch ceiling fan that uses a remote control. This is the remote that came with it. This is my second Windward, and I've been wanting to get a brushed steel version for quite some time. Both this and the white version of these are major childhood fans for me. They're basically the first contemporary ceiling fan I saw as a kid, in terms of like something that looks modern and such. Not like your traditional ceiling fans. But this one's a bit newer than the one that I have, the white one, that I've had for a few years now that I got from Dan Spiffy Newman. This one is from April of 2005, whereas the other one is from 2001. Forget what month it's from, but I know this one's a few years newer. For that being said, this one's light does not dim. I'm not sure if that's because of the remote or just because they stopped having them dim after a certain year or so. But yeah, it's in very good shape. The seller told me that they just didn't need it no more because they put central air in the living room. And after they did that, they just didn't really have much use for it. But the fan's in basically mint condition. It's definitely well taken care of. Still a little dusty on the top of the motor, the ways it's from being used over the years. But if you were to look at this today, I mean, they still sell the fourth generation of this fan, the Windward 4. But I definitely feel like this is a nice looking one, and such due to it being a bigger motor on it and such. But yeah, this is something I would definitely install like in the kitchen or a living room, even a bedroom, or even an office actually. But it's definitely a big childhood fan for me, and I'm very glad to have gotten it. And it's also nice that it's the first ceiling fan I actually picked up by myself in the car, since I've recently gotten my license. So there, yeah. So let me go ahead and show it with the light. As you can see, that does work. It has a fluorescent bulb in there of some sort. But yeah, this is the second one, where the original one was basically a GE vent fan with no Philly side vents. I know some of them were made by Firebird, or I think some were made by Alaska or Air Cool. But this is definitely more powerful with the Glossimer wind blades. It definitely moves a lot of air, more air than spin motor Hunter fans and a lot of showroom fans. It's almost on par with a Casablanca fan, if not more. And if you don't believe me, find one and test it yourself, and make sure that it has good capacitor, because that is something that these are known for having issues with, is the receiver and the capacitor tends to fail at some point where the high speed starts to slow down. That one is the same issue with this one. Same thing with the white one. But if you just change the receiver inside of it, they do sell those separate. It'll be running on at full capacity again. But yeah, let me go ahead and turn off the lights. Definitely lights up the room pretty well. So it just has one large bulb in it. Go ahead and shut off the light and start the fan off on the low speed. Something that I do like is that the remote for this one definitely responds better, or the fan responds to the remote on this one better than the remote for the other one. And it's actually the receiver that I used in the white Windward. I borrowed that one just to get this one running properly for the video. But I'm missing the remote that the white Windward 2 has. The receiver inside of it is starting to like fail on it possibly. Because if you guys remember when I did that video of it, I had to play around with the remote a lot just to get it to like turn on and off, or change the speeds, turn on the light and such. But yeah, I remember seeing these in the catalogs when I was a kid on the Home Depot display. They sold these from 2001 up until about 2008. I think it was the last year. I know some areas they sold the Windward 3 in like 2006, but in my area they stopped selling these in 2008. But yeah, they're definitely for a budget fan. Like, and I say that due to the fact that it's sort of the home center. It's actually a pretty high end fan for a home center fan. These are basically a relabeled Emerson Midway. The only difference with this one versus the silver one that they sell is that it has black blades, not the tan ones. What wish that these could have came with tan blades as well, but definitely gives it a nice sleek look with the black blades, I think. But I mean, these use a 188 by 15 motor, so it definitely has a well-sized motor for. And with the blades that it has, it definitely pushes a lot of air. The newer ones, the Windward 4s, always use a 153 by 15 or 25 millimeter motor, and so it's definitely a major downgrade compared to this one. Something I think would be cool if I had this in a living room with like black and silver decor, and then like the kitchen right next to it had the white one, kind of like with the install I have with the black Infinity and the white low profile plus in the kitchen and living room. Kind of like do the same thing but with Windward 2s, a white one and the brushed steel one. And it's actually an install that I wouldn't mind doing, honestly, because these are powerful enough fans. The only thing is the high speed. It makes like a pretty loud sound in terms of air movement, which I think will kind of bother me for like a living room. I feel like after a while I'd probably get used to it. It is with the white. But I mean, I know they didn't stop selling these in 2008. They stopped selling them in my store in 2008. I do know that they sold these online actually up until about 2015 to 2016, I'd say. Yeah, it was towards 2016 that they stopped selling these on the website. Now they do still sell the shade or replacement shade for this on the Home Depot website, which is nice. Because the spare one that I had for the white one were two. That one came with like extra parts and everything. When I got it from Dan, the spare shade on that one actually cracked, so fortunately I only have two of them. The one I came with this and the one for the white one were two. Something I've been thinking that would look pretty cool is like if this was a gloss black, if there was like a gloss black version with the black blades, I think that would look pretty nice. Now, if I was to paint one like it, I would have to find one that's in really rough shape and such. Well, white one that is, but I wouldn't paint a brushed steel one unless it was like in rough shape, like that rusted one I used to see outside on a person's deck for numerous years until they replaced it recently with a outdoor hunter ceiling fan. But yeah, there's some condos near where I live that I did a video of like one from the window of it outside. But I remember going to an open house and they had one of these as well on a long down rod. Pretty sure all of those condos have these in them. And there's another one. There's another one that I haven't done a video of from a distance, but there's a lot of them in there, and it's like an older building, but it's old, but it's also modernized somewhat. So I feel like it's definitely a nice touch with these fans in it. But I mean, it was like back in 2013. I saw the one inside the open house. It was like in the living room area, and it was not in the bedroom. Yeah, so let me go ahead and move it up to medium. It's funny, kind of video. It looks like it's brushed nickel, but it's actually not. It's actually brushed steel. I did just wipe it down just to give like a cleaner look, because it kind of got some of the wood dust, or the sawdust, I guess you could say, from installing it in some areas of it. So I figured I just wipe it down with a damp cloth. Yeah, the medium. So like the high speed that I had was just before I changed the capacitor, was about the medium speed on this, and each of the other speeds were a bit slower. Well, actually, no, it might have been just a tiny bit faster than this. But it was still working enough that it would still cool down someone in the room. But this moves about the same amount of air as a lot of fans that I've tested on the high speed. But yeah, these are definitely underrated Hampton Bay fans alongside of the Cameron 2s that were made like with the could those also use a 188 by 15 motor as well. I think it's a lot of people don't really like these ones only for the fact that they're very modern looking, and a lot of people in the fan community tend to like more simple looking fans. I mean, from what I've heard, that this is, now when I did the white fan of the blah, if I did when I did a video of the white one, I had stated that these are just a cheaper version of the Emerson version of it, but it's actually literally the same thing. In all honesty, it's just a cheaper, a more economical version of it, price-wise, sold at Home Center back in the day. Now, for that being said, this is basically the same quality as a fan you'd get at a showroom, just with the Hampton Bay logo on it. Yeah, I remember these retailing for like almost 200. They're like 170. I remember when I was a kid, on a display, I found a remote for one of them that was on a display at the Home Depot near me, and I turned on the light. I think it was on either the brushed steel one or the white one. I think it was a brushed steel one though, and I had turned it on just to see if it would do anything, and it actually turned on, but it got stuck into the position. And then I was like, ooh, it actually worked. I think it might have actually been a white one, but I'm not too sure. It's been a long time now. But I always found out that was like the first time I actually turned on the fan display at Home Depot without getting caught. Yeah, there's the condos I saw these at. I know there was another place like I've seen these as a kid. I feel like I've seen it at somebody's house. I just don't remember where. I do know there's like a town near where my dad lives up in New Hampshire, like on the Massachusetts New Hampshire border. There was like one of these in a store. I think it's still there, but I just don't remember seeing it when we drove by. Last time it was like closer to nighttime, I think, when we arrived up there. This past time, like since I was up there a few weeks ago, so I couldn't really see it and such. But yeah, definitely it's a cool fan though, without a question. It's one that I can definitely see in like a lot of like restaurants, hair salons, literally almost any store in all honesty. Alright, let me go ahead and move it up to the high speed. Now normally I don't test fans that I've just gotten right away, but since I just I just made the video of the white one public not a few weeks ago. I figured maybe just get this one up as well. And to see if there's really any difference between the 2001 version and the 2005 version, like if there's any difference in quality in terms of air movement. And in all honesty, there's really not that much of a difference. Honestly, I really don't feel like that. Now that I'm hearing the sound that it makes in high speed, I really don't think this would bother me, to be honest, that much as I thought it would. Like if I was looking at whipping and watching something, I'd probably just put the volume just a tiny bit louder. Now I do know they make the 44-inch version of the Windward 4. So now that's actually one I want to find just to see how it performs for a smaller fan. I've heard that they're very good performers for being a newer Hampton Bay or a home decorators collection nowadays. But plus it has some pull chains, so I figured that's kind of unique. I want to get one, but I definitely don't want to pay retail. I definitely want to find the brushed nickel one and the white version, just to have like a mini version of both of this one and the other white one that I got. Although the finishes aren't exactly the same, as this is brushed steel, and the newer ones are from the Home Decorators collection are brushed nickel, so it's a little bit different to finish. And the Windward 2's white one is gloss white, and the newer ones are matte white, so it's a tiny bit different. Definitely is cranking out a ton of air. Alright, so it's white. Should have done focused it on the white when I was back here. But yeah, this is either this or the white one. I'm definitely installing when I get my own place. I definitely want to have at least one of them up. This actually could even be a kitchen fan if it's like more of a modernish looking kitchen. Like, I'd honestly even put the white one in the kitchen here in this apartment. It's just, I'd have to put a medallion on it, and I really don't think the Windward 2 in white would look that nice with a medallion above it, due to the hole that's in the kitchen. Hence why I have the Hunter low profile there, just to cover up that hole. I know that the Home Decorators collection, they have something that's similar to a Windward, that's a flush mount one. No, it doesn't have Gossamer wind blades, it has regular wood blades that's reversible. But that was actually one I was kind of interested in trying out if I was to find one used or a lot cheaper than retail. It would be cool if it actually had Gossamer wind blades, that way you can have like a hugger version, although it would be kind of pointless because it would be the same thing as this, the way I have it right now. Casamigos, it actually kind of looks like it's in a champagne finish. That Casablanca did. Like on camera, that is not in person. Just not as like polished looking. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off and do spin down. Yeah, I'm really glad that I found this fan, especially for the price of $20. Usually people tend to sell these for a lot more. Person just wanted to get rid of it, so that's why he wasn't asking for that much. In fact, I don't think it shut off. Hold on. Let me make sure it's on. It's actually like fully running on high speed before doing it. There we go. But yeah, it's definitely a very well performing fan. I remember back when at the old apartment when we were thinking about replacing the Hampton Bay carousel in the living room. Something that I had thought about putting in the living room was one of these instead of the carriage house too. Although I figured me and my mom felt that this would have looked nicer. It's just we wanted something that could give off a little bit more lighting. Plus the carriage house too was like $100 less than what this one went for. So it was also a bit out of our price range. Well, more so out of our budget back then. And actually, I do remember when me and my dad went to buy the Hampton Bay carriage house too for the living room. I remember him mentioning how this will be a good one too for the living room. This and the Antigua were like the three that we were kind of thinking about putting in the living room. Oh, the Antigua I thought would have looked nice. I just felt like it would have looked a bit too. I don't know. I think it would have looked a bit out of place in that living room. Especially since they didn't. I don't think they were selling that white kit for it at the time anymore. Now show it on reverse. I kind of do wish that the one that was rusted outside of someone's porch, I wish I could have actually gotten it. It's just at the time I didn't drive like I do now, so it was kind of hard to get there. They replaced it definitely during like the lockdown and such. Because even though it's all rusted, I'm pretty sure the fan still worked fine. Just that would be like one that I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind of painting it over black or something. Yeah, I do wish that this one could demo, but it's alright. At least the remote on this one works a lot better than the other one. So I'm not sure if it's the remote that just doesn't have a dimming feature or if it's the bulb itself that doesn't dim. I think it's more so the remote, if anything. Yeah, it definitely does a great job on reverse as well, which is no surprise. Alright, now to shut it off. And that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.